As a massive sci-fi nerd, the moment I saw Jump Space, I knew it was something I absolutely wanted to play. It ticks all of my video game boxes. Gorgeous sci-fi concept, check. Rock solid visuals, check. Play with my pals and crew our own spaceship, double check. I've spent around 20 hours with the game ahead of its public launch into early access on Steam and game preview on Xbox, and I'm here to share my thoughts on what this fascinating spaceship game is all about. This is the Xbox Era review in progress for Jump Space. If this is the first you've heard or seen of this game, allow me to bring you up to speed. Jump Space is a mission-based cooperative game for up to 4 players that tasks you to crew a spaceship. The world in which it takes place has fallen victim to the corruption virus, a calamity that's made the majority of mankind's machines turn against us. Humanity needs jump-capable ships to help turn the tide, travel to the source of this virus, and bring freedom to the galaxy. No pressure then. While it's available on both Steam and Xbox in the form of an early access release, it's worth reiterating that this is not coming to Xbox Game Pass. So if you're interested in jumping in, it's going to be a purchase on either platform. Now, be that as it may, I'm now going to wax lyrical on why you should absolutely do that, because I'm kind of in love with what Jump Space is doing. Jump Space begins with a decent tutorial to teach you about the game's various systems before you start gallivanting around the galaxy. You play as an Aterian survivor of a conflict with the rampant machines and are stranded on the surface of a moon littered with the burnt out hulls and wrecks of various ships. Here you'll rescue Iris, an AI helmsman corps that escaped the corruption virus and wants to assist you in fighting back against the Steel Legion. You'll find and repair your first ship, the Catamaran, and together with your AI companion, jump to a safe harbour that acts as your player hub and multiplayer lobby. The hangar is where you'll be able to meet up with your pals before heading out on missions, in addition to where all of the game's vendors and quest givers hang out. It's also where you'll manage customization of both your own character and, of course, manage your ship. There are a ton of social aspects to this hub-like space, be it chairs to lounge on with a nice view, a shooting range, a jukebox to have a dance, or a spot of 2v2 football. Beyond customising the ship to suit your style with the options to set the colour scheme on both the exterior and interior of your ship, you'll also need to manage the components that are fitted. There's a decent number of those systems to look after, from your engines, power systems, weapons and more. Components can be upgraded with materia ingots, which you'll earn through completing missions, retrieving salvage and other redundant components. There are 2 ships currently in this early access build, the aforementioned C3 Catamaran and the nippier but much smaller DT4 Dart. The Catamaran is the larger of 2 vessels and easily houses a 4-player crew. It sports a larger shield capacity and comes fitted with a bar, pizza oven, medical and ammunition facilities, bunks and a working toilet. It's arguably the more complete of the 2 ships in terms of design and layout, but that's not to say that the Dart isn't without its charm. The smaller and more nimble ship is faster, with 2 pilot cannons instead of the 1 on the Catamaran. The firepower comes with a cost, as the ship has half the shield capacity of the larger vessel and its design isn't as intuitive as its larger sibling. It's a little awkward to board, but it's far quicker to navigate and repair ship systems. It feels like an answer to players looking to enjoy Jump Space either solo or just with one friend, though it supports 4 players too. If you are playing solo, the game has an AI-controlled buddy bot who will jump in and out, helping reload the pilot cannons or producing ammunition to help out if you're on your own, though he's no substitute for some actual friends. Aside from taking on quests to progress the narrative, and yes, there is one, but I won't spoil any of it for you, you'll be doing favours for the various vendors in the hangar. In return for completing these, you'll earn credits and new spacesuits. And if you're lucky, materia ingots for those precious ship upgrades. To do all of these things, you'll gather your crew and head out on missions that are usually comprised of several stages as you jump your ship from location to location, gathering resources, completing cargo raids, salvage runs and more. To start, players will gather around the galaxy map in the hub and pick a mission type. They vary in length and challenge, be it a 20-minute trip or an hour-long excursion. Missions are separated out across different sectors of the galaxy and vary in difficulty from easy up to very hard. Once you've got one selected, you and your crew will ready up and move on to your home away from home, your jump ship. It is a shame they had to change the name. I really liked the game's original title. The moment-to-moment gameplay in Jump Space is kind of like if Sea of Thieves, Left 4 Dead and your favourite roguelite had a weird space baby. You'll initially launch into a safe location, and it's here where the run-based roguelite structure of the game becomes more apparent. The mission is broken down into various stages, all randomised before a final main challenge. Now, do you take the safer path? Do you focus on gathering components or consumables? The choice is up to the crew, and once you've decided your route, each player will have to strap in before jumping to the next section. Even in its early access form, there's a surprising amount of variety in Jump Space so far. There are a total of 9 mission types that take place across 50 or so playable sectors, and you and your crew will jump into a decent number of interesting environments. Be it icy moons, desolate debris fields or atmospheric asteroid belts, it all looks absolutely gorgeous. It's fair to say that yes, some repetition will set in. It is early access after all, but the developers have already shared a roadmap for the community to dig into as they begin the journey to a 1.0 release, with plans for an endless mode, modifiers, and of course, more mission types and sectors. There are all sorts of things to find out in deep space, from new components to add to your ship or differently tiered levels of weapons. It's always worth scanning the system and investigating the area. One neat system is the artifacts that you can find while on missions. They are run-specific modifiers that do all sorts of different things. You might find one that increases your melee damage if you have a slice of pizza in your inventory. Another will let you heal teammates by shooting them. Some will have various levels to them, allowing players to use unwanted artifacts to upgrade the ones they have equipped. Obviously, Jump Space has plenty of ship-to-ship combat. As the main pilot of my crew, I was in charge of dispatching enemy combatants, which ranged from weak fighters to imposing enemy corvettes. Dogfighting was always fun, but shooting enemy ships down isn't the only part of what makes Jump Space so much fun. You and your crew also need to manage the ship and its systems, be it putting out fires that break out during combat, repairing a broken thruster, and that one makes manoeuvring the ship far trickier, all the way to dealing with radiation leaks or even being boarded by the enemy. And what makes the game stand out comparatively to its peers is that the developers have given real due care and attention to how both modes of play feel. Both flight and on-foot gameplay is slick and responsive on both mouse and keyboard and a controller, though both methods of input are missing some nice-to-have options. They are planning to add a combat slide in, so I'm glad that's already on the roadmap, and I'm sure other improvements will come. On foot, you are nimble, equipped with a double jump and a super fast grappling hook that can lock on to a variety of latch points. When in 0G, you have an awesome thruster pack to traverse space and even over terrain quickly. You can even barrel roll. It feels supremely cool to quite literally launch yourself out of the ship to go on the offensive or to quickly grab salvage and supplies. Players on foot can arm themselves with a variety of weaponry, starting with the always equipped multi-tool, which acts as both a repair and charge tool, in addition to being a pistol in a pinch. They can also find other weapons like shotguns, LMGs, submachine guns, and marksman rifles to take on the army of evil robots and blast them to bits. There's a ton of decent enemy variety here too, from flying drones to little scuttling spider bots with flamethrowers, all the way up to a radioactive missile-spewing hulk of a walking tank that will cause a mild panic when it turns up at just the wrong time. Outside of combat, your crew will all need to work together to make sure your ship, well, remains ship-shape. Player roles are undefined, though there are different spacesuits with certain perks that may suit one role over another. There is a player trait system planned, and I'm curious to see how that aspect of the game evolves. Right now though, you can jump in and do everything from flying, manning the special weapons pod, to firing yourself into space to scavenge and board enemy ships. All players will need to remain aware and communicate in order to succeed. Every ship is equipped with a number of components that need to be repaired if damaged, and during a run, all sorts of things can and will go wrong. All the components on the ship are powered by your reactor, and each component has this fun tetramino shape that needs to be connected correctly for the whole thing to work. The ship has a number of gravity deck plates on the outer hull, meaning the crew can head out the airlock to perform repairs or collect materia to craft new resources in the ship's assembler. It can be quite disorienting to be upside down while the ship is hurtling through space, but it's very cool nonetheless. The developers smartly introduced that same gravity plating during some on-foot combat sequences too, and it makes for a mind-bending experience. There have been a number of standout moments for me during my time with Jump Space, from last-ditch efforts to secure precious supplies in a cargo ship raid before enemy reinforcements jump into the zone, to the sudden onset of an asteroid storm or solar flare at just the wrong time. The game smartly throws randomized events at you to keep you on your toes. One mission highlight tasked us with commandeering 3 enormous artillery cannons to aid our resistance fleet friends in battle. Here, Jump Space almost turned into a game of strongholds in ranked Halo as we fought against the machines and wrestled for control of the cannons, all while engaging in ground and space combat, while 2 massive space fleets duked it out overhead. If this is the sort of inventive, emergent game design and mission types that the team have planned for Jump Space as we progress through its early access journey, I can't help but feel we're all in for a bit of a treat. Being an early access title, there are some bugs and in-progress development issues to contend with, but nothing that should really put you off. Performance on my PC is honestly difficult to really dig into because my rig brute forces most games into playing great anyway, even Borderlands 4. When it comes to the console version, sadly, like most Xbox review code lately, it was not available before launch, forcing me to spend all of my playtime with the PC version of the game. I did try it out on my ROG Ally X, but alas, I couldn't get a solid performance at just low settings, 30 FPS at this stage. The true beauty of Jump Space is in the chaos. It's in the wrong or right decisions that you'll make as you deal with whatever the game throws at you. Do you choose when landing the ship to all leave and take on that threat on the ground and leave the ship vulnerable to attack? Does your crew attempt to board an enemy corvette during the dogfight, leaving the pilot alone and undefended as fire breaks out in the engine room? The design decisions that Keepsake Games have made so far for Jump Space have resulted in a compelling, rock-solid foundation for what promises to be a genre-defining game. Jump Space puts fun, intrigue and slick gameplay systems first, mashing together multiple genres into something that is oozing with charm, replayability and jaw-dropping wow moments. I am hooked. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review in progress, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and if you truly love what we do, then consider supporting us directly on Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. And we'll see you next time.